Hey everyone, Dr. Gage here. Today I want to go over two mnemonics, one older and the new one, that have been implemented to help treat sports-related injuries and musculoskeletal injuries. The old one being RICE. You've probably heard that thrown around. That stands for rest, ice, compression, and elevation. However, a lot of new research has led us to believe that there's a new and better mnemonic with a lot more components to it here, and that being peace and love here. I'm going to go through the new mnemonic here. So protection is what we want to do shortly after the injury has occurred. We want to protect that area, make sure no further injury can happen. Elevation, this stays the same from our previous mnemonic. We have avoiding anti-inflammatories to allow the body to actually bring in some inflammation, help recycle out old stagnant inflammation and help heal that area. We have compression, that stays the same from our previous mnemonic. Education is a new one that's become a huge component. We want you to know what's going on with the injury, why it happened, and how to prevent it in the future. Then we work down to our love mnemonic, load. This is reloading the tissue under tension, whether it be the tendon, the muscle. We want to work to incorporate movement and weight back into that site of injury. We have optimism. As you may know, it's very important to stay optimistic and positive surrounding an injury. This can be really hard for athletes. However, having the right mindset to get us back on the field or on our play here is important. We then have vascularization. This involves some light cardio work, a light walk, run, bike, things like that. That helps promote blood flow. We want to stay active in the healing process and promote blood flow, bringing in healing factor, growth factor, and helping heal that area. And then our last one here is exercise. This is exercise working towards our return to sport. So this is a little bit different than vascularization or load. Exercise would be a combination of these two and helping us really get back into those motions or that sort of mechanism in which we were injured in the first place and making sure that we're properly responding to that in the future. So here you can see we have some comparisons, a few things that are out with the new mnemonic would be rest. We want to stay active. We don't want to rest and just sit around. And ice is a vasoconstrictor. So what that does, it constricts down the blood vessels and actually decreases that healing process there. We want to increase that blood flow to the area and help bring in those healing factors. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is kind of our new guidelines here, backed by research with musculoskeletal injuries. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Take care.